Today is September 20th, 2018. We're going to be talking about how to choose a realtor today. But first, we want to give a shout out to all the teachers. Welcome them back to school. And we're offering a reduced commission for teachers. If you're going to buy or sell anytime between now and 2020, swing by Castlegate or text us or call us, and we'll get you a certificate that you can get a reduced commission anytime between now and then. And thank you for all that you do. All right, so.
Tell them about changing up the show first.
Oh, we're going to change up the show. You're probably getting tired of seeing us in this office every week. So starting next week, we're going to be doing shows on site. We're going to be visiting places in Carbon County, in the Lehigh Valley. We may even head a little east to Monroe and a little south to Berks and Bucks. But we're going to start in Carbon and Lehigh Valley. We're going to be actually on this post. You can put a comment of where you'd like to see us go. And we're looking to tour neighborhoods and exciting businesses and just all the great stuff we have around that people might want to know about if they're going to move here.
So tell us where you want us to go.
Nicely. So today we're going to talk about choosing a realtor, and this is big for us because it's important. Most folks aren't sure how to choose a realtor. You know, they'll ask some friends, or you may go online and look at reviews and things, but we want you to know after today's show to take the time and do interviews and do your homework, because it's such an important decision. I'm saying a lot today. Courtney, do you want to start by talking about how to choose
a buyer's agent?
Yes.
So this is somebody who simply represents the buyer only. They wouldn't be representing the seller. First thing is when you go to a showing, the agent's going to ask you to sign either a non-exclusive buyer agency or an exclusive buyer agency. And the difference is big. Castlegate offers non-exclusive agency contracts. That means that you are free to work with other agents, which is super important because at the first time you're meeting this person is at the showing. And if you guys don't get along, you want to have the option to work with other people. Some other agents will ask you to sign an exclusive agency, and that means that you're working with them and only them. And because this is the first time you're meeting them, you may not feel comfortable with that. So when you go with a Castlegate agent, it does give you the option to work with other people. Some other things.
Have a sound effects. That was a good. Anyway.
Some other things to look for in your buyer's agent is someone who's a problem solver, and this will come into play once you've already found the house that you want to buy and you're already under contract, which just means that the seller's accepted the offer. You'll do inspections. You want to find an agent who can solve some problems that may come up in those inspections. Be able to negotiate with the listing agent or the seller as well. Someone who can guide you or refer you to inspectors, lenders, title companies, someone who has reputable title and the agents to work with in the past. And also someone who communicates well, someone that you're on the same page with, someone who can meet your expectations time-wise as well, because you don't want to be with an agent who can't meet you at 6 o'clock for showings. They can only meet you at 10 a.m. So things like that are very important when you're looking for your buyer's agent. And those are questions that you can ask them when you meet them. Yep.
Absolutely. Interview them, see if they're a good listener. They should be more concerned about what you're looking for a house rather than their schedule or their concerns. Couple points. We always encourage you, whether you're buying or selling, to look for a local agent. The local agents are going to know the ins and the outs of the area, what might be going on behind the scenes.
How the market's changing.
How the market's changing. By the way, if you visit cometothecastle.com, what was that again?
Cometothecastle.com.
We update our stats each month and you can see what your market's doing. So you want to use a local agent. Don't be afraid to ask about their training and expertise. Actually, when you work with them a little bit, you'll get a good sense if they're confident and they know what they're talking about, or if they're kind of nervous and winging it. Oh, that's a good time. Speaking of nervous and winging it, there are 2 million real estate agents in the nation right now. And the statistics say that 75% of realtors fail in the first year. 87% fail in the first 5 years. So 13% of agents stick with this more than 5 years, know what they're doing, get the training, do well at it, and do well with their clients. The rest do not. They're not lasting for some reason. But so be careful, because there's a lot of turnover. So take the time to get an agent that's trustworthy and connected to an office that is trustworthy and capable as well. Another thing when you're looking, an option may be teams. It's a big thing right now among agencies. A lot of places are forming teams. There are pros and cons to teams. It may sound good. Oh, I'm going to have one person doing this, one person doing that. We're going to have 5 people serving you. But the risk you run is
not everyone's on the same page.
Sometimes, quite often, there's communication gaps. You may spend a lot of time in the beginning with agent number 1, and then they'll hand you over kind of to agent number 2, and agent number 2 doesn't remember or know all of the stuff you went through with agent 1. So weigh that carefully. Mm-hmm. I have commission breath here. Sadly, sometimes agents tend to focus on the money, especially if you've got one of the newer ones who are struggling and not doing well, or they're worried about paying their mortgage, and so you'll recognize that when you spend some time talking to somebody. Negotiation skills are key and they're important. So when you talk to agents, ask about their training and experience in negotiating, because a good negotiator can save you tens of thousands of dollars. And we talked about experience and track record. Okay.
Now I'm going to talk about how to choose a seller's agent, otherwise known as a listing agent. So this is someone who sells your house. You want to interview as many agents as you can, because the more agents that come to see your house now know about your house. So even if you don't hire them, they may have a buyer looking in your location with your amount of bedrooms, and now they know that it'll be for sale. So getting as many agents as you can to the house is beneficial to you no matter what.
It is.
Yeah. Also find someone that you're comfortable with, someone that you know, like, or trust, or trust.
I like you, I just don't trust you.
Maybe find someone who's a little fun. That's
a lot of
fun. Someone who's honest with you. If they come into your house and ballpark what you might be able to sell it for, they didn't do their homework, so they may not be honest with you. That's one thing. Someone who's professional, someone who knows how to advertise. This is someone who can market your home on Zillow, on Facebook, anywhere on Google, hands out flyers, things like that. And you can ask them those questions about how they're going to market your property and know who to refer you to. So people like plumbers and other people who can make repairs. And also someone who can do a market analysis. We've talked about this many times. A market analysis is an agent finds some homes that near yours, similar to yours, that have sold in the last 12 months. They make adjustments like adjusting for bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage, acreage, among other things. And it gives us a really good idea of how to price your home. It's similar to an appraisal, but not an appraisal. But it is similar, so find someone who can do a good one.
Yes. Our bar agents offer a market analysis for their buyers before they put an offer in, and of course for their sellers, so they can advise them on what their list price should be. So as a wrap-up, was that it?
That is it.
As a wrap-up, buying or selling a house is going to be one of your biggest financial decisions. It's bigger than buying a car, and you certainly don't buy a car quickly, especially if it's a newer one. You take a look at a bunch. And in the same way that you choose a doctor or an accountant, sometimes you get what you pay for. So sadly, sometimes sellers call and they'll be like, well, what do you charge for commission? And if you're calling 5 different agencies just to see what their commission is, just because someone may be a lower commission doesn't mean that you're going to get more money. Because someone who might charge a little higher commission than that low commission, and we're not allowed to speak specifics, so that's why I'm not, may be able to sell your house for considerably more and in a shorter period of time, and you end up getting much more money in the end, even though you paid a little bit more commission. So take the time to interview. If you are interviewing, definitely give us a call. We have 7 agents now, so we'll find somebody you're comfortable with or you trust, like and trust. Okay, final commercial. Reduced commissions always for pastors, first responders, and vets and active duty. And is this a commercial?
The Ask a Realtor show one.
Oh, the Ask a Realtor show. So starting next week, we will be on site throughout the county. You're invited to join us. That should be fun. So if you see this post, and we'll probably boost it, write some places that you'd like us to come and visit and talk about on the Ask a Realtor show. Thanks for tuning in.